The world got a little quieter this year. 7 extraordinary people who shaped music, film, sports, and culture passed away, leaving behind legacies that defined generations. From the guitarist who created the soundtrack of soul music to the war hero who saved lives on D-Day at 101 years old, these stories deserve to be remembered. Today we're honoring their lives, their achievements, and the indelible marks they left on our world. Let's begin. Puppeteer and actor Danny Seagren died November 10, 2025, at the age of 81. His death was announced recently, and with it came the reminder of a remarkable career that touched millions of children across 2 generations. Most people know Spider-Man from the blockbuster movies with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. But decades before any of them put on the suit, there was Danny Seagren. He was the very first person to play Spider-Man in live action, appearing in dozens of sketches on The Electric Company throughout the 1970s. The Electric Company was a PBS educational show designed to teach reading skills to elementary school kids. It featured skits, songs, and celebrity guests, but one of the most popular segments was Spider-Man. Seagren wore the classic red and blue costume, swinging into scenes to help kids learn phonics and vocabulary. He didn't speak in these sketches. Instead, his thoughts appeared in comic book-style speech bubbles on screen. It was a creative way to teach reading while featuring one of the most popular superheroes in the world. For kids growing up in the 1970s, Seagren's Spider-Man was their Spider-Man. This was before the character had appeared in any movies or major TV shows. Seeing a real person in that costume, doing flips and crawling on walls, was thrilling. The show introduced an entire generation to the web slinger. But Seagren's career went far beyond Spider-Man. He was a talented puppeteer who worked alongside Jim Henson, one of the most influential figures in puppetry history. Seagren helped bring Ernie to life on Sesame Street, operating the beloved character in numerous episodes. He also occasionally performed as Big Bird and other characters when needed. Working with Henson meant being part of something revolutionary. Sesame Street changed children's television forever, proving that educational content could be entertaining, creative, and culturally significant. Seagren was there during the show's early years, helping establish the puppetry techniques and performance styles that defined it. His physical skills as a performer made him perfect for both puppeteering and playing superheroes. He understood movement, timing, and how to bring characters to life, whether he was inside a costume or operating a puppet. Seagren's Spider-Man appearances on The Electric Company have become nostalgic treasures. Clips circulate online, reminding older viewers of their childhoods and introducing younger generations to a piece of pop culture history. Danny Seagren gave us the first glimpse of what Spider-Man could be in the real world. He taught millions of kids to read while wearing one of the most iconic costumes in comic book history. That's a legacy worth remembering. World War II veteran Charles Shea died December 3, 2025, at the age of 101. His story is one of extraordinary bravery during one of history's most pivotal moments. Shea was drafted into the U.S. Army in 1943 and trained as a medical technician. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, he was part of the first wave of troops to land on Omaha Beach in Normandy, France. He was just 19 years old. Omaha Beach was chaos. German forces had fortified positions on the cliffs above, raining down machine gun and artillery fire on the Allied troops as they tried to reach the shore. Thousands of men were wounded or killed in the first hours of the invasion. Shea ran directly into that hell. As a medic, he pulled wounded soldiers from the water to prevent them from drowning. He worked under constant fire, dragging men to safety, stopping bleeding, keeping them alive long enough to get them off the beach. The conditions were unimaginable. Bodies in the surf, explosions, screaming, blood mixing with seawater. For his actions that day, Shea was later awarded the Silver Star, one of the military's highest honors for valor in combat. The citation noted his courage under fire and the lives he saved during those critical hours. After World War II, Shea went on to serve in the Korean War, continuing his work as a medic. He dedicated years of his life to saving others on battlefields most of us can't comprehend. Later in life, Shea became an elder of the Penobscot tribe in Maine. Every year he returned to Normandy to perform a sage-burning ceremony honoring his lost brothers in arms. It was a quiet, personal ritual that connected his Native American heritage with his role as a veteran and healer. Charles Shea lived 101 years, but the most important hours of his life may have been those spent in the cold water off Omaha Beach, refusing to let his fellow soldiers die. We owe our freedom to men like him. Dancer Danielle Jones died December 2, 2025 after fighting breast cancer. She was just 46 years old. Jones became a household name in 2006 as a finalist on the second season of So You Think You Can Dance. She finished in third place, but anyone who watched that season remembers her electric energy. She could switch from hip-hop to contemporary to jazz without missing a beat, bringing joy and personality to every performance. What made Jones special wasn't just technical skill, it was her presence. She lit up the stage in a way that made you smile even before she started moving. The judges and audiences loved her, and she became one of the breakout stars of that season. After the show, Jones continued working as a professional dancer and choreographer. She performed with major artists and built a career doing what she loved. When she was diagnosed with breast cancer, Jones chose to be open about her fight. She shared her journey publicly, talking candidly about the physical and emotional challenges of treatment. She became an advocate for other dancers dealing with cancer, using her platform to raise awareness and offer support. Breast cancer in younger women is often more aggressive, and despite her fight, the disease took her far too soon. Jones faced it with the same grace and strength she brought to the stage. Danielle Jones reminded us that dance is about more than technique. It's about spirit, connection, and bringing light into the world. She did that until the very end. Steve Cropper died December 3, 2025 in Nashville, Tennessee at the age of 84. If you've ever felt chills listening to Otis Redding or danced to a Blues Brothers song, you've experienced Cropper's genius. He was the guitarist for Booker T and the MGs, the legendary house band at Stax Records in Memphis during the 1960s. This wasn't just any backing band. They were the engine behind some of the most iconic soul recordings ever made. Cropper played guitar on sessions for Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett, Sam and Dave, and dozens of other artists who defined an era. But here's what made Cropper special. He wasn't just a session player. He was a songwriter and producer who understood how to create hooks that lasted forever. He co-wrote Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay with Otis Redding, finishing it just days after Redding's tragic death in a plane crash. That song became Redding's biggest hit, and one of the most covered songs in music history. He also co-wrote In the Midnight Hour with Wilson Pickett, another song that's been sampled, covered, and celebrated for 6 decades. Booker T and the MGs had their own hits too. Green Onions, that instantly recognizable instrumental from 1962, was played by the band and featured Cropper's crisp, clean guitar work. It's been used in countless films, commercials, and TV shows. Later, Cropper became one of the original members of the Blues Brothers band, bringing his legendary guitar skills to a new generation through the hit movie and subsequent tours. He appeared in both Blues Brothers films, playing himself alongside Dan Aykroyd and the late John Belushi. Cropper's guitar style was distinctive, clean, precise, rhythmic. He didn't play flashy solos for the sake of showing off. Every note served the song. Musicians describe his playing as economical, but that undersells it. He knew exactly when to hold back and when to punch through a mix. His influence is everywhere in modern music. Countless guitarists studied his technique, trying to capture that Stax sound. The Rolling Stone magazine ranked him among the greatest guitarists of all time, and in 1992, Booker T and the MGs were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Steve Cropper leaves behind a catalog that helped define American soul music. His guitar will echo forever in the songs that soundtrack our lives. Basketball player Eldon Campbell died December 2, 2025 at the age of 57. While he may not be a household name for casual fans, those who followed the NBA in the 1990s and 2000s remember him as a reliable power forward and center who played 15 seasons in the league. Campbell spent 9 seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers and another 5 with the Charlotte and New Orleans Hornets. He was a solid defender, a capable rebounder, and a steady veteran presence on every team he joined. But Campbell's most memorable moment came in 2004 when he was playing for the Detroit Pistons. That year, the Pistons shocked the basketball world by defeating the heavily favored Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. The Lakers had Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton. On paper, they should have dominated. Instead, Detroit's team-first approach and tenacious defense dismantled them in 5 games. Campbell was part of that Pistons rotation, contributing as a backup big man who gave the team depth and playoff experience. The 2004 championship is still celebrated as one of the great underdog stories in sports history, and Campbell earned his ring as part of that legendary squad. After retiring, Campbell stayed out of the spotlight, but his 15-year career spoke for itself. He played over 900 NBA games, averaging double-digit rebounds at his peak, and earning respect as a professional who showed up and did the work every night. Eldon Campbell's death at 57 is a reminder of how fleeting life can be, even for elite athletes. He leaves behind a legacy of hard work and one shining championship moment. Playwright Tom Stoppard died November 29, 2025, at his home in Dorset, England. He was 88 years old. Stoppard won 5 Tony Awards for Best Play and was nominated for 3 more. That's a staggering achievement in any era, but what made his work stand out was how smart it was without being pretentious. His plays were puzzles that delighted audiences rather than lectures that put them to sleep. His breakout work, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, took 2 minor characters from Shakespeare's Hamlet and gave them their own absurdist tragedy. It premiered in 1966 and immediately marked Stoppard as someone doing something completely new with theater. The play asks big questions about fate, free will, and meaning while remaining genuinely funny and entertaining. The Coast of Utopia, his trilogy about Russian intellectuals, won him another Tony. Leopoldstadt, his late-career masterpiece about a Viennese Jewish family across generations, won yet another. Critics noted that even in his 80s, Stoppard was still taking creative risks and wrestling with profound themes. But Stoppard wasn't just a theater writer. He won an Oscar for his screenplay for Shakespeare in Love, that charming 1998 film starring Gwyneth Paltrow and Joseph Fiennes. The movie walked the line between historical fiction and playful romance, filled with the kind of wordplay and literary references that defined Stoppard's style. He also did an uncredited rewrite of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, sharpening the dialogue and adding depth to the relationship between Indiana Jones and his father. Steven Spielberg specifically brought Stoppard in to elevate the script, and it shows in the film's wit. Stoppard had a gift for making complex ideas accessible. His characters debated philosophy, politics, and morality, but they did it in ways that felt human and urgent rather than academic. Audiences left his plays feeling smarter and more alive. Tom Stoppard's work will be performed for generations. His clever, humane approach to theater changed what audiences expected from a night at the Playhouse.